public benefit. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
Look at your weather. A sweltering Friday in store for Gauteng, with temperatures dropping to overnight lows of 15 and 19 degrees, peaking at highs between 34 and 36 degrees.
On your roads in Benoni, we've got a collision on Atlas Road. It is right at the N12 freeway, causing delays in both directions. And then it's made some pressure in Randburg on Malibonga Drive in both directions between North Riding and Cosmo City. Please be patient.
The top story in Eyewitness News: the Gauteng Health Department is urging communities to be more mindful about where they buy their food following the increase in alleged food poisoning incidents.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
When you are 13, 14, you publish your first short story.
Yes.
I imagine you got a paycheck.
I was paid, and in fact, it didn't come as a check. It came as a banknote, 2 rands, which was a lot of money. Those days, I mean, a loaf of bread was 10 cents.
Yeah.
I wanted to frame that 2 rands, but unfortunately, some need appeared, and I had to use it.
Your need or the family's need?
No, my own comic books.
Professor Zake Simda.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Inflation? It's great in the blow-up pool you bought so you can live la vida loca, but not so great in the price of rent, diapers, and zero. Outsurance brings you inflation deflation. Get a quote, and if Outsurance can beat your car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand. Claim free, and with the same insurer for 3 years, ask for 1,500 Rands. Savings or cash, we have nothing to lose. SMS out to 38350 to switch and save today. Outsurance is a licensed insurer in FSP. T's and C's apply.
Inflation. Great in the blow-up pool you bought so you can live la vida loca. Not so great in the price of rent, diapers, and cereal. Outsurance brings you inflation deflation. Get a quote, and if Outsurance can't beat your car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand. Claim free, and with the same insurer for 3 years, ask for 1,500 Rand. Savings or cash, you've got nothing to lose. SMS out to 38350 to switch and save today. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and limits apply.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
You've got to appreciate the irony. Eskom can't provide electricity. The consumers fill this gap with solar panels, and then they turn around and say, no, we are now losing sales because everybody's got solar panels. If you were generating sufficient electricity in the first place, consumers and businesses would not have been forced to get solar panels. So yeah, have fun with that, Rudolph and Van Park.
Good afternoon, Tabo and the team. Tabo, quite fascinating train of thought from Polly, and the incredible amount of effort and rigorous details put into this case is quite astounding. And having to listen to Mpile attacking instead of unpacking and arguing her case against Polly is quite disappointing. The EFF again. Thank you for a great show.
No, thanks to you. Honestly, I think we have to do better whenever we are coming on radio and debating issues. I thought we'd get more meat, and I thought, honestly, Polly had put a case forward very vividly, and whether you agree with her or not, she, you have to put a counter argument to that. I don't know if you went on to look at the graph that they had put together on the Daily Maverick on the flow of money all the way from VBS to Skameka to Mahuna and to individuals concerned therein. And as I asked Mpile, why is it that you are not keen to go to court and settle this once and for all legally and embarrass Polly and say, this is what the court had said, this is the information that we provided, and we deem this matter closed. But listen, a lot will come out, I suspect. We're in election season. Election year will obviously kick off next year. But I suspect that we're in for quite a lot. And with these interviews, the intention is for you to make up your own mind. at the end of the day. It's not to hold anyone in a bad or a good light. It's for you to make up your own mind. And speaking of which, I'd love to hear from you. The EFF, Paulie van Wyk, what do you make of it? 011-883-0702. 011-883-0702. Alternatively, send a voice note or a text message to 072-702-1702. I'd love to hear from you. But for now, time for sports with Anthony Teixeira.
EWN Sport.
Hey, Anthony, what's going on in the sporting world?
Good afternoon, Tavo. We begin with the Cricket World Cup, where South African-born New Zealand opener Devon Conway smashed an unbeaten 152 to lead the Black Caps to a 9-wicket victory over England in the opener. Conway put on a 273-run partnership with Rachin Ravindra, who smashed himself 123 runs. England lost the toss and were sent into bat earlier in the morning, posting 282 for 9 in their 50 overs. In reply, the New Zealanders chased it down with a whopping 82 balls to spare. Tomorrow, Pakistan will be facing New Zealand. Results from elsewhere saw the Australian women beat the West Indian women by 47 runs in the 30-20 of their series. While in football, Bafana will be looking to extend their unbeaten run to 10 matches when they take on Eswatini next week. Kojuho Bruce announced his squad for that match, as well as the one with Cote d'Ivoire. And one thing that we did notice in the previous friendlies is how much the national team relies on Temba Zwane in chance creation after he pulled out through injury. Bruce says there are replacements and workarounds if that happens.
Okay, when he goes on playing like he's playing now, I still don't see any problem. We have a problem if Temba is not in or injured. We still have 2 months to see. And at the end, there is still Persitone who can play that position.
Action this evening in the DStv Premiership will see Skokona United facing Golden Arrows, while Liverpool, West Ham, Brighton and Aston Villa are all taking to the field in European competitions. The All Blacks will be playing Uruguay at the Rugby World Cup tonight. Coach Ian Foster will guide his men into the knockout stages with the victory. He's spoken about what he hopes the team to get out from tonight's performance.
At the end of the day, we just got to meet our standards. We've got our internal driver and our internal goals. The goals what comes out of the state. It's about us living up to the things that we say we want to do, and we just got to make sure we do them.
Kickoff is at 9 p.m. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
I just want to see how they play because all black
And we want to know what's going on the highways, any accidents and any blockages that you need to avoid. The man for that, Vangeli Nzuza. Vangeli, what's happening?
Thank you so much, Sabo. We start in the city of Ekurhuleni, in the city of Peace, and Benoni. There's a collision on Atlas Road affecting the flow of traffic in both directions, just near the N12 freeway. Captain Park seeing some crawling traffic on Link Road heading west. This is between the R21 and Tembisa Lake. And one south of the city of Johannesburg still has a bit of stop and go traffic between Rivonia Road on ramp and Winnie Madikizela Mandela Drive off ramp. We're still seeing some delays in Randburg on Malibongo Drive in both directions, and this is between North Riding and Cosmos City. Naturally, more of that pressure heading north. The nation's capital, Sifako Makata, drivers got bitumen delays caused by heavy congestion. This is heading east between Erdebot and Rodeblad, while in Acacia, expect to be slowed down on Doreen Avenue, heading north towards First Avenue. I'll have a next traffic update on The Money Show.
You know her as the host of 702 Afternoons.
But there's a few things you may not know about Relebo Botja.
She thought she wanted to be a lawyer, but didn't complete her UNISA studies.
She likes writing and used to write for Teen Soul and Soul magazines.
She is a good singer
and has sung for 2 South African presidents.
She's part of our 702 family.
She is Relebo Botja.
And you can catch her on 702 Afternoons.
Weekdays,
1 to 3 p.m. 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Department of Small Business Development will be hosting the 2nd National Presidential SMME and Cooperatives Awards on the 17th of November during the Global Entrepreneurship Week. In partnership with CEDA, CIFA, the European Union, and 22 on Slope. Winning SMMEs and cooperatives will receive a cash prize of 100,000 rands cash. To nominate or apply, go to SMME Awards.co.za. Nominations and applications are open and will close on the 18th of October 2023.
From heritage-packed milestones, breathtaking natural beauty, high-powered events, Mohodu Mondays to delicious Fridays, sporting GP encounters, township tourism experiences, to Kwamai Mai and prison break markets, hiking GP and Gauteng by air, the Golden Province is ready to journey you through summer. Get geared up for a summer in Orlando at Gauteng. Download the Visit Gauteng mobile app or visit gauteng.net, all powered by Gauteng Tourism.
The Money Show. Weekday evenings at 6.
It's something that you've been waiting for, something you've been preparing for. You've known the date sort of in the back of your mind for a long time. Suddenly the announcement happens. Suddenly it's real. Is there sort of a flutter in your chest?
Certainly, I'm a carrier of lots of butterflies. It's a big responsibility that comes with it. I am delighted by the confidence shown by the board.
Mary Vilakazi, the incoming Group Chief Executive of First Rand.
The Money Show with Bruce Whitfield on 702. 702.
Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Bruce Whitfield is brought to you by ABSA Corporate and Investment Banking. The ABSA Insight Series, exploring the ripple effect of action-led insights in the enterprise and supply chain development sector to drive collaborative impact. ABSA is a registered FSP.
For more about 702, go to 702.co.za.
12 to 6, Tabo in for John. We're together till 6. Thanks for sticking around with us. We spoke to Polly van Wyk earlier on, and I'll shortly take the calls from you. I see a whole lot of you want to comment on that. John, Fernando, I'll get to your calls in a short while, and thanks for your patience. But first, Webza. Remember we said we had an issue with someone who can sell, and Webza said that he can sell. He's the best salesperson in South Africa. And we just wanted to prove whether he is or not. So, but first, let me play you a voice note from Webza so that you can hear it for yourself what he had to say.
How's it, guys? Timos, even if I've got to say this, even if I say this, even if, my guy, I'm one of the greatest saints people you've ever seen. Okay, we haven't seen each other yet, but I'm not clever. I am not clever, but one of the most intelligent people you've ever heard from. Okay, I can sell you your own belt. If you don't believe me, we can do this on air, live. You call someone randomly, and you call me, and I'll make a sales pitch, and then I demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about. Tibos, this is Webza in Johannesburg. I know this.
Well, we have Webza on the line. Webza, hi, welcome. Are you okay?
Yes, good afternoon.
I'm taking you up on your challenge, buddy. I want to know if... So you have to sell something to me, right? And you already know what? You have to sell me...
I already know what I need to sell to you.
What are you going to sell to me?
Okay, I'm just going to sell to you a winter jacket.
Okay, good luck. Given that we have a heat wave currently. Yeah, sure, good luck. I'm all ears, Webza. I'm all ears.
Wonderful. Just before we go ahead, Tabo, would you prefer me to address you as Tabo or Mr. Mashao?
Listen, Tabo doesn't. Mr. Mashao unfortunately passed on some time ago.
Okay.
I'm Tabo, yes.
Wonderful. Tabo,
Yes.
just 3 questions, then I'll let you go, Tabo. Okay, when would be the best time to buy a heater to heat your house or to get you warm, considering these tough economic times? Would you like to buy a heater in winter or to buy it in summer, just for you to save money?
Oh, okay. I suppose I'd buy in summer.
Wonderful. And when would be the best time to buy a winter jacket? Would you buy it in winter or in summer, just to save you a bit of money?
I suppose again in summer.
And the last question for me, are you a cash guy or installment guy?
I am neither. I carry a card.
Wonderful. Now, because we're on the public platform, I'm not going to ask you for your banking details. All I'm just going to say to you is, welcome aboard. You're my client. You are my client.
For what?
Okay, because if you're getting a card, obviously that card belongs to a certain bank, so I'm not going to ask you which bank is it and all those things. So just to cut the matter short, I'm just going to say to you, welcome aboard. I consider you my client. Just on a parting shot, though, I'm just going to say, this is an aviation code. Okay. It might be scrambled a bit, but they say you should know 5 minutes before your plane gets to 5 minutes. In 5 minutes time, you know what your plane is going to do in 5 minutes before.
You know what I'm going to do, Webza? I'm not even going to judge this. I'm going to leave it to the listeners. Do you think that Webza was successful? Do you think he was not? Give us a shout. 011-883-0702. Alternatively, send a voice note about Webza on 072-702-1702. Fernando, John, I'm coming to you.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
John from Pretoria, what say you? Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. It's John here.
Hey, John.
It's surprising how you're speaking to John and speaking to John.
Yes, what a huge coincidence. It's not a very common name, eh?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Look, Tabu, I think here there is a perfect opportunity which has been made by the SG. Who therefore start by accusing Polly whether she's a normal person or not. In fact, she's even labeled a sick person, right? So here is Polly with a map that he has drawn up, an infograph, for that matter, which shows where the VDS money has been taken from and how it has actually ended. Where she says it has ended. Perhaps, Tabo, it's important to remind yourself and everyone who is listening that VBS is the vendor building Sophia. It was a small financial institution that was started with people in the Vende region of South Africa. And the money that we are talking about here is deposits, from those people who are not economically advantaged.
And some municipalities, right?
And deposits that come from the municipalities. So it's public money that we are talking about here.
John?
So this is very serious. So if the SG is refuting what Polly says, take Polly to court.
Sure. John, well said. Well, got your point, John. Let me just give Fernando a chance quickly. Fernando from Jamestown, hi.
Toba, thanks for a great show.
Thank you, sir.
Give Polly van Wyk a belt. What an incredible amount of work she's done on the EFF and GBS. How come do these guys still have bank accounts by our big banks if it's from laundered money? Surely that's what the FICA requires, that these accounts are frozen. And if you get a loan from laundered money, is that not an admission? Doesn't matter. You cannot plead ignorance.
Yeah, and you would know the argument on this, right? They're saying a loan is from brother to brother. That's one of the things, if I understand it correctly. And I
no,
don't.
It's from Seneca.
No, you and I understand that very well. But their argument is that it's from one brother to the other.
God help South Africa with these fascists. Be very careful where you put your cross next year.
John, how would you then respond? Fernando, how would you respond to the fact that part of their defense is that they are saying that there isn't any explicit rule on the side of Parliament on declaring a loan by a member of Parliament?
Don't make things grey. What is right is right, what is wrong is wrong. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, that's your feeling there, Fernando. Thanks for calling in. Well, we've got a minute to go. Thank you so much to you for indulging me for the past 3 hours, and thanks to the team. Tseho, Kabazela, Karabo, Vangeli, Anthony, and particularly to you, the most important ingredient of this entire setup. It's been wonderful spending time with you and standing in for John. You're on 702. Continue engaging with us. Coming up next is The Money Show with Bruce Whitfield. Have a lovely evening.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
I webs, I must just forget it. Sorry, but I would not buy from website. Mr. Timos, great show. In terms of website selling method, yeah, I would have, if this was a phone call, I would have long hung up. I would have thought it's one of those scammers trying to get something from me, but I'm not convinced, sorry.
Bronze is the buzz. The world on edge. The Rugby World Cup is underway. And 702 is here to bring you all the action. From those tricky twatler tackles.
Time for Milan smash in the tackle.
To those incredible tries. We'll be serving it hot from our Rugby World Cup desk until we find out which country will raise the Webb Ellis Cup in 2023.
And there is indeed a cup of gold at the end of the South African rainbow.
Tune in to 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa and 702 Drive with John Perlman. Or visit ewn.co.za for around-the-clock updates. The Rugby World Cup desk on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Soccer fans, it's time to score the ultimate goal with Hollywood Bets. With a max payout of up to 30 million rand and over 100 soccer markets to bet on. Play online now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Medical aid changes. They're normally like this. We've just had a little girl, and I want to add it to my policy.
Going to have to ask her some security questions. It's company policy. What is your mother's maiden name?
At Bonitas, we make our plans flexible, so you can add members easily as your life changes. Visit bonitas.co.za and get a quote today. When you need us, Bonitas. Medical aid for South Africa. T's and C's apply.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Tabo, I will start the best. He had me at inside summer, the heater, he had me. Yeah. Because when I was thinking, he wants to sell you a jacket and he first starts with the heater. I'm like, Manje, where is he going? But no, he's good, he's good. He's good. And it's the one thing that when he said to me, okay, good, you're my client. And when you ask for what, and he says, no, listen, I can't ask you for any details, but I have a feeling that this sale is closed. You know, that's how they win. So yeah, no, he's good, he's good.
And now,
The Money Show
with Bruce Whitfield.
live online DSTV
92.7 and 106 FM.
702.
Let's walk the talk.
Good evening, welcome to The Money Show, brought to you by ABSA Business Banking with Green Asset Finance Solutions to keep business powered up. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. On The Money Show this evening, not much is going our way, but at least the oil price is falling. We'll get the full explanation as to why that's occurring this evening. It was a terrible day for the currency market as US jobs numbers look better than expected. That automatically leads to assumptions of higher inflation, higher interest rates, and money flooding into the dollar. That weaker rand environment, though, did help boost some of our rand hedge shares. Another top manager quits at Transnet. Will also look at remote work once again this evening, very much in the crosshairs following comments from Pavlo last week. We'll catch up with him on that particular point again. And then Gugu Sidaki this evening, mastering delayed gratification. How often are you able to postpone that treat in order to get a financial benefit in the longer term? We'll find out how to be better at delaying the joy in your life. but not too much, of course. We don't want to ruin all of the fun. That's what's on the Money Show this evening. Calls, of course, coming through for us this evening on 02144605667, 011 830702, or WhatsApps 072 702 1702. First, though, the latest eyewitness news at 6.
Good evening, I'm Veronica Mahwadi. Police are urging Gauteng residents not to take the law into their own hands after 4 children died from suspected food poisoning this week. Authorities are probing the mysterious deaths of 2 children aged between 2 and 3 in the West Rand. Preliminary investigations suggest the pair died after eating snacks bought from a nearby taxi rank. Their deaths come just a few days after the passing of 2 other children from Soweto after eating biscuits they allegedly bought from a spaza shop in Naledi. Tabiso Koba has more.
Controversial civic organization turned political party Operation Dudula has been leading the calls of shutting down all foreign-owned spaza shops in Gauteng following the tragic deaths of several children. However, Gauteng Police Commissioner Elias Mawela has urged communities to remain calm and give authorities the space to do their work. He says post-mortem results will determine the exact cause of the tragedies.
There's no member of the public who's empowered who can go around and ask people for their passport, their documentation, and so forth. We have law enforcement agencies who are responsible to do those kind of things.
4-year-old Neo Kang and Leon Jele will be laid to rest in Naledi, Soweto next Tuesday. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
The Johannesburg Magistrate Court has ruled that actress Sonia Mbele must submit a full medical report when she appears on tax evasion charges. Mbele was a no-show in court today, where she was supposed to make an appearance on 42 counts of tax evasion. Mbele and 2 others are directors of reality show Stable, The Real Housewives of South Africa. Homoto Modise reports.
Sonia Mbele has presented a medical certificate twice before at the Johannesburg Magistrates Court, claiming to have a surgical medical condition. Today, Magistrate Susan Dupisani gave a final warning, saying Mbele must be in court during the next court appearance. The state also asked that she present a full medical certificate detailing her condition. NPA spokesperson Pindim Jolondwane.
The criminal justice system cannot be held at ransom where the are legitimate and serious health concerns. We as the prosecution have requested that those should be declared to the court.
As she postponed the trial, the magistrate said she'd not allow the matter to drag on unnecessarily. The matter will now return to court on the 20th of this month. Khomza Modise, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
Border management across South Africa's 72 ports of entry is now under the sole command of the Border Management Authority. President Cyril Ramaphosa attended the official launch of the BMA in Limpopo today. Ramaphosa says while the BMA have sole command of the borders, various government departments retain their policy and legislative responsibilities when it comes to border control. Arun Singh reports.
The Border Management Authority, under the helm of Commissioner Michael Masiapatu, will better manage the country's borders. This is according to President Cyril Ramaphosa, who attended the official launch of the BMA in Limpopo today. But while the BMA will focus on border control, the SANDF remains the country's first line of defense at the border posts.
The South African National Defence Force remains responsible for border protection and safeguarding. They remain responsible for securing the safety of the people of South Africa.
Ramaphosa says the BMA has signed implementation protocols and agreements with SARS, SAPS, and SANDF. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
And with the Gauteng province in the grips of a heat wave, emergency services in the city of Tshwane is urging residents to take precautions against these scorching temperatures. The South African Weather Service has issued a heat wave warning across the province, with the hot weather conditions expected to continue until Sunday. Here's spokesperson Charles Mabaso.
The following precautionary measures can be taken. Staying hydrated by drinking copious amounts of water, limiting outdoor activities, especially during the hottest time of the day, wearing loose clothing, and avoiding dark-colored clothing where possible.
Gold
So
is
that
trading
person
at
was like, I know
$1,016.17 an ounce. The rand is at 19.54 to the dollar, 23.78 to the pound, 20.57 to the euro. Brent crude oil trading at $84.38 a barrel.
And in your sports, New Zealand pick up a stunning 9-wicket victory in the ICC Cricket World Cup opener against England. All Blacks play their final pool match of the Rugby World Cup. While in football, we have Europa and Europa Conference League matches for us this evening.
Another sunny day in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to an overnight low of 17 degrees, peaking at 34. Pretoria 19 and 36. Vereeniging 15 and 35. Cape Town's cloudy with a low of 16 and a high of 22. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. Police are urging Gauteng residents not to take the law into their own hands after 4 children died from suspected food poisoning this week.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi. EWN Traffic.
Very good evening. Let's start on the side of Cape Town. We've got a collision on the R300 heading south that happened just before Stellenbosch Arterial. We started to experience some slow-moving traffic approaching Van Riebeck Road to and past. Now, Nelson Mandela Boulevard outgoing, we've got a bit of congestion-induced delays from Soul Street all the way to Jan Smuts Drive. M5 South seeing bumper-to-bumper traffic from the N1 all the way to Boom Road. While in the city of Johannesburg, we're still experiencing some mild to moderate pressure. This is on the M1 heading south into the CBD coming from Parktown. Free-flowing traffic getting into the nation's capital from Rockfontein Road. It only starts to slow down right at the Flying Saucer interchange as we head north towards Linwood Road. In fact, there's a collision that has occurred in Linwood Glen, causing delays, and N3 South, just a bit of a snag approaching Kilulis in both directions. In fact, N3 North also seeing a bit of a snag in that vicinity, so please drive with care. I'll have a next traffic update in the next 26 minutes or as it happens.
The Money Show with Bruce Whitfield on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
On 92.7 and 106 FM.
The Money Show brought to you by Absa Business Banking with Green Asset Finance Solutions to keep businesses powered up. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. Welcome to The Money Show this Thursday night. Personal finance at 7:30. All about delayed gratification. And I don't know how good you are at it in our high demand, quick service world, but my goodness gracious me, delayed gratification. Is it a life skill that can be taught, or is it something that is intrinsic within you? You either have it or you don't. You might want to give us a call on that on 072 702 1702, or send us a WhatsApp on 072 702 1702, or give us a call on 011 883 0702. You can tweet me at Bruce Business. You don't have to do it immediately. You can postpone it for 5 minutes or so to prove the point that you are good at delayed gratification. We'll talk about the crisis of leadership facing Transnet. 3 of its most senior executives in the last 6 days have quit. The chief executive, the chief financial officer, now head of the rail division, freight rail division of Transnet, has also thrown in the towel. We'll pick up on the big platinum crisis, or the platinum price crisis that is hurting mining companies. Anglo American has announced that 100 people at its head office will be out of a job within the next couple of months. That should tie up nicely with Christmas. And also, Sibanye warning today that unless there is some sort of miraculous recovery that comes through in platinum group metals prices, they too will be looking at layoffs. It's a tough environment. It's going to get tougher. Lots of indicators, as we've been talking about this week, all pointing to a tougher environment. That tougher environment is something that Graham Kerner will be picking up on later on this evening.
The Money Show
with Bruce Whitfield on 702.
702.
While everything else seems to be going wrong on markets, the one thing that is going right, but perhaps it's indicator of the things that are going wrong, is a Brent crude oil price at $85 a barrel. It was pushing it went to between 80 and 85 for more than a year. It was very tightly range bound. Suddenly it went to 90, then 95, and predictions of 100 around the corner. Since then, it's pulled back a little bit. Commodities traded RMB is Raymond Phillips. Raymond, I don't mean to be ungrateful, but I'm curious to understand why it is that the oil price has pulled back as quickly as it has to these levels, back to $85 a barrel.
Hi, good evening, Bruce.
yes, as you said, has been pretty volatile, and the volatility has been to the downside. I think you touched on it a little bit there, what the sort of main driver is with regards to this pullback. It's all on the macro side, so something we're not used to. As we saw earlier this year, the global situation, the global growth situation on everyone's minds, mostly so from the oil traders out there.
Yeah, and that negativity, it's not coming from demand. It's not coming from OPEC Plus, which was threatening to cut supply even further. This is just an expectation-driven thing. We've got bond markets pointing towards higher interest rates, taking money out of the economy as interest rates continue to go up, possibly pushing some big economies into recession, possibly the globe into recession. And that then implies less demand for oil into the future, hence possibly the drop-off.
Yes, that's correct, Bruce. Exactly like you said there. It's the macro situation. I think it originated from this latest theme of higher for longer, and that's obviously had to feed through into these oil and oil product markets right now. The worry is, like you say, on the demand side at the moment.
Raymond Phillips, thank you. Commodities trader at RMB. Short and sweet on that particular front. As the oil price pulls back to around $85 a barrel. And it is all about demand. The oil price down to about $85 a barrel. A short, sharp pullback from 95 down to 85. Long may it last. Long may it go lower, frankly, unless you're a Sasol shareholder, in which case, of course, you're begging for the oil price to stay more elevated. We're going to talk about those jobs changes at Transnet in just a moment. Siza Nzimela, latest Transnet executive to announce her departure.